I'm Dr. Ramey Turner, and today we're going to talk about personality disorders. First disclaimer here, I am a family medicine doctor and I'm not a psychiatrist. It is one of my favorite subjects, but it's not my specialty directly. Now, this series is a spin-off from another series that I did called Red Flags in Relationships. And that was a series that I did a few weeks back, and I realized doing that series that many of the people who might want to avoid a relationship due to these red flags, many of the people that they may encounter have personality disorders. So if you'd like, you might want to watch some of those videos. Also, please don't diagnose your friends or your family based on just this video. The symptoms that we're going to discuss sometimes appear in other psychological problems or other situations even that occur from stressful events. And what's more important to recognize in determining whether or not a person has a personality disorder is about frequency and severity and how many different parts of this personality disorders and their different attributes does this person display. Now, if you do find yourself suffering from the attributes listed here, or you find yourself suffering from someone else who has the attributes that are listing here, please seek professional advice and get some help. Whether it's you suffering from the attributes or someone else, you will still need some help on how to cope with that situation. Now, we're going to talk about why personality disorders matter. How often do they occur? And how they're classified in this video. In the future videos, we'll talk about some more and describe each one, but they take a little bit of time each, and you might just want to pick and choose which video you want to watch. So, why does it matter? Well, because many personality disorders tend to worsen over time, and they can even lead to psychosis, and they can be dangerous to the people that are involved with them, and they can be dangerous psychologically, and they can be dangerous physically. Some people with some of these disorders become physically abusive. So what are your chances of finding a person with personality disorder in the general population? About 1 in 10. 11% of the general population has a personality disorder of some kind. Some are very reclusive and some are very outgoing, dynamic, and charismatic. They stand out. They capture relationships that unfortunately turn badly. In the clinical setting, however, 64% of encounters have one of these disorders or more. And since I get to practice family medicine, I get to also practice some psychiatry as well. So how are these disorders divided? There are 10 disorders, and they are divided into 3 clusters, cluster A, B, and C. Many of the traits in one of these disorders or several of these disorders will be seen in other disorders as well. And many times one will have one disorder and they'll have also another disorder too, or some other type of psychological problem as well. So how are these disorders divided? There are 10 disorders, and they are divided into 3 clusters, cluster A, B, and C. Many of the traits in one of these disorders or several of these disorders will be seen in other disorders as well. And many times one will have one disorder and they'll have also another disorder too, or some other type of psychological problem as well. So let's go to the clusters and see what type of disorders are listed according to the DSM-5-TR, which was published in 2022. Cluster A. When you think of this cluster, think of odd. And it's really odd thinking. And sometimes that bleeds over into odd dress or acting out and odd behaviors. But in general, it's what they call odd. This is what was taught in medical school, so that's what I'm going to say. And it does look that way in some cases. In some cases, it's not. The three disorders in this cluster are paranoid disorder, schizotypal disorder, and schizoid disorder. Not to be confused with schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a different type of mental illness, which we can discuss in a different video. If you're interested, please let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to talk about that with you. Now, let's go on to cluster B. Think volatile. Volatility is in other disorders too, but in this one, if you like drama, here you go. It is the most dramatic type of personality disorders that you'll see. And the four disorders that you'll see here, not surprisingly, if you've ever seen them before, are narcissistic personality disorders, sociopathic disorders, histrionic disorders, and borderline personality disorders. Not to be confused with bipolar disorder, which is a different type of psychological disorder that we can talk about in another video. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. Finally, on to cluster C. Cluster C, think passive. These disorders aren't quite overtly abusive. They're really hard to tell until you realize that most of the abuse is done to the individual, to themselves. It creates havoc in their lives. When does it create havoc in your life? When they become so frustrated by their own condition that they want you to buy into their condition and for you to participate in the same disorder, which can be very uncomfortable. You'll understand shortly. These conditions are avoidant, dependent, and finally, obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Not to be confused with OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder, which is also difficult to deal with, but it can get worse. So, these are the disorders that will be in our series, and the next video is going to cover some of the basic significant symptoms that are kind of across the board in all of these personality disorders that you'll see. They don't always apply in every single case, but we're going to go over those so you can see if there's something you need to look for here. So thanks for watching my video. Please like and subscribe and share this with your friends if you feel like that might be helpful for them. And remember this one very important fact. It's a really bad idea to diagnose your friends, family, and other associates with psychological disorders of any kind. It doesn't go over very well. So let a professional take care of that. And if you are subjected to these, seek professional help for yourself as well. I can't reiterate that enough. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.